And good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are live. Yes. Woo. We're going to talk about it, y'all. I am your host, Ashley D, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Storm McCullough, guys.
Good evening, all. Good evening.
Woo. Let me tell y'all something.
God is good.
God is so good, y'all. Like, today was the most Tuesday day of the week.
Oh, we just gotta laugh it off.
That's all we can do, guys. Like, I mean, every time we come on the podcast, guys, we always talk about how our day was. I'm right now in a week-long training with my job, and it's like I'm learning so much information. And I feel like you can never stop learning.
Overload, right?
It's been an overload. And I'm like, hold on, Ashley, you have the podcast tonight. So you better be ready. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful that we were able to just pull this together, y'all. We're going to tell y'all a little bit about it. We're not going to give all the beans on everything we've been going through. But one thing I realized is when you have a podcast or something that you're doing where it's going to reach such a huge audience, the enemy comes. Like, he comes like
to kill, steal,
and destroy. Because he was trying to destroy this podcast tonight, y'all. Like, I had to call my village. I had to call my village today with my little baby today. And I was just like, oh my gosh, where's everybody? And let me tell you, the village was like really going down. Like, I was like,
and I'm like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. So you just gonna.
She's like, no, come on, let's just go.
And then when she got here, y'all was like, listen, these are the problems.
I'm like, we've done this how many times? How is it not working?
Well, you know what? I believe that when, as you just said, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So, but anyway, happy Tuesday. You look good tonight.
You look amazing. Come on, lady in red. Listen.
It's the lipstick.
Make it pop real quick. But we are so excited for today. How you feeling today? Besides the things that the enemy tried to do, how are you feeling today?
I am great.
Listen,
this is the day that the Lord has made.
Let us
rejoice and be glad in it.
Come on, y'all. Listen, I had to do a power prayer, y'all. Y'all missed it. I wish y'all could have tuned in.
Evangelist. I said, okay, so anytime before we come on, we always pray, give God the glory, because everything that we're doing this is nothing but God. Trust me.
Yes.
And as we were just working our way through the kinks, I said, Ashley, pray.
In the minute.
And it was 2 minutes before 8 o'clock.
Listen.
So, but you bought the oil, the Spirit, the Holy Ghost.
That's the Nita daughter. Listen, I kid you not. I will say that after that prayer, I just felt like, okay, it released everything that I had, the load for the moment, and just trying to prepare for the podcast. It was all out the window. Like it worked. What we were trying to fix worked.
That's what I was just about to say.
It worked. I'm talking about instantly. Yeah. It worked. It was like,
because we wasn't getting on this podcast and our brand, we would have been late. So we gonna give God the glory.
Every single time, y'all, I kid you not, you can't move about your day without prayer. And I will say that it just made me feel so much better. And I know that today is one day that we've been like looking forward to. I think this was one that was like in the works. I think from episode 1, we were like, we gotta have a guest. Mm-hmm. You know, we talk about She Speaks podcast. Right. We created this platform for women. Mainly, as I think about the podcast, we made it for women to where moms need encouragement. Mm-hmm. Daughters need encouragement. Yes. A lot of our children are suffering and going through so many things in silence. Mm-hmm. But the key with tonight's episode, it's about He Speaks tonight. Yes. Tonight, we're going to have our very own our first male special guest. Listen, and let me tell you just about this individual. Mm-hmm. Last year we had Teen Summit. It was at Stranahan High School, and that's coming up again.
Where was it?
Teen Summit.
Stranahan High School, home of the Dragons.
Lord, y'all.
Class of I just told my age.
You sure did. But yeah, so we had Teen Summit last year, and we had a special guest, including Dr. Storm McCullough. So we had him. had this guest come. It was my first time meeting him last year. And when I say he touched our youth like never before, I walked and peeked in his classroom because I like to check on who we bring to Teen Summit. I got to make sure they're doing their job, right? So I popped in his classroom. The kids, like, hands were raised. They were being interactive. And I was just like, okay, who is this guy, right? And
they was listening.
They were listening. They had the active listening skills going on. Come on now. Doing education. Come on now. So they were literally tuned in, and I said to myself, I said, okay, cool, we gotta connect. So this person that I'm going to tell you guys about and who's going to be joining us this evening, his name is Mr. Delvin Rogers Sr. I met this gentleman, and when I say he has an initiative going on, that's such a powerful movement for our young men. Our young boys need some guidance. They need all type of nurturing, just like the young ladies. And I'm so very thankful as I think about those that are advocates for our youth. Yeah. I think we have that connection between us as well, because we are so in tune with our youth. And when I say he has this movement going on called Calm, he's going to tell us all about it today. So I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Delvin Rogers Sr. Come on, Delvin.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, Delvin. Thank you so much for joining in with us this evening. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great. I'm excellent. Actually, today is my birthday, so I've
happy birthday. You was not. I was gonna say it for you.
He was like, you know what?
He's like,
I'm gonna say it to make sure y'all don't forget myself.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Happy birthday. And you joined. You know what? It's amazing because you're actually doing this podcast on your birthday.
Yes.
And it definitely speaks a lot. I remember when we were speaking and you was like, it's my birthday. And I said to you, you know what? For my birthday, I went to a networking event. Yep. You know, it's all about, your network equals your net worth.
Right.
That's facts. That's facts. Right. And I will say, I remember we were discussing it as well. Like I said, the same thing for me when I was trying to go into my new career. I legit did a ride along on my birthday. Like June 15th is a special day, okay?
Okay.
And I did the same exact thing. And I feel like when you're trying to get to new heights in life, it doesn't matter. You're going to make that sacrifice for the bigger picture.
Right.
And that's what we want to talk about it. We want you to go ahead. Tell us all about tell us about your journey, where you're from. I mean, you're new to our platform, so we definitely want to kind of get them engaging with you, telling us a little bit about yourself and get into the calm.
Who is Delvin Rogers?
Right. So I'm originally from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I now reside in Broward, but Calm, that came about basically from working in the school board and, just seeing, youth, always angry about different issues and things like that. But I would always wonder, okay, well, what's going on with particular youth who have these issues? Is anything, happening with them, and what's causing the anger? So when I was able to do an anger management course, and get certified, I was like, okay, well, I got to do more. I just can't leave it at that. So, I tried to come up with, names. Of course, you want it to be catchy, but you want something that's strong. So if we're talking about anger, at the end of the day, you want to be calm. So I said, okay, that sounds like a good name, but let me break it up, as far as acronym. So, I came up with Control Anger, Limit Madness, because again, you want to control that anger, and at the same time, limit that madness that you have inside. So I took that and, hit the ground running, and basically from working, in the school system and, past working in the juvenile assessment center and stuff like that. So I started just reaching out to contacts of who I made over the years and just letting them know what I do and, and what I'm trying to do and what my goals are. And from there, I just started getting invited to different places, Urban League. As you stated earlier, I did the Teen Summit. I did that. Actually, I did that twice. So
you did.
So that says a lot. If you get invited more than one time, you're doing something right. So
I mean, you did your job. He did.
Exactly. That too. And as you stated, when you peeked in the room and you saw kids with their hand raised and they were engaged and stuff like that, that does something to you, because that shows that kids are listening. They're hungry. They want to know about, how do I cope with certain things? What is conflict resolution about? So I just take all of those key tools, and anybody who invites me out to come and speak with their youth, I try and pour in as much as possible so they can understand how important these key tools are.
Absolutely. That's good. So I know you informed us about you being a certified in anger management. Mm-hmm. So being that you're certified in it, what do you feel is the connection that really gets you connected to the children with that certification?
I think what it is, aside from, having that certification, it's just me working with kids in general. So I come with that expertise by itself. And again, I'm not, putting a spotlight on kids and them being angry, but I'm just, shedding light on what's important, but coming from a teaching aspect, because I'm a teacher first and foremost. And I think it's just every job that I've had as an adult has been working with kids. So I just bring all of that into one, and we discuss more than anger management. We discuss life, things that are going on at home. How are you feeling currently? So I try and put everything in the mix, and I like for them to engage. I love to sit back and allow them to speak, because they have the floor, because sometimes they don't get a chance to, express how they're feeling. So here's me sitting back and allowing them to express themselves.
That's good. I think one of the most important things that you have said is allowing them to express themselves. Yes. That is so huge in their generation. It's almost as they're living a total generation than we did. And, when it comes to like the parenting and the teaching, everything is so different. Right. I was talking to one of my students, and they was trying to tell me about AI. So I know AI is fancy, AI gets the job done. Come on now. Right. But when a student was able to create a whole poem and said a couple of words, and AI just put it all together. It was confident about it, right? So I'm looking like, it's hard for me to believe that this could have, but if they did, good job. And when we ran it through the plagiarism site, it came back 100% authentic.
What?
It did.
Wow.
Man, hold up. You know how many papers I wrote in school with my master's degree? Like 20-page papers where you have to sit in the library.
AI is cutting down the time, 3 to 4 hours. AI can do it in seconds. So allow them to express themselves. Yes. I think that is huge, and that is amazing, Delvin. Can you tell us a little bit more about when they are expressing themselves? I know it's a safe place, for them, but what have you found when they are, expressing themselves and just being tangible and honest? Because they usually don't do that a lot because they don't trust anybody. They think everybody is out to get them, and this is the most. Oh, you're just doing too much. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right. I mean, and the thing is, so much, the times have changed in different eras. So for one, we have to keep up with their language, because there's so many different words out there that they speak about, like, cap. It took me a while to find out what cap means. You know what I mean? And there's so many different things within this era and
tell
language.
Us about cap, please.
Yeah.
So it's like cap.
Yeah, so it's like when you approach it, like for myself, when I'm working with a youth group, they have to feel as though you have their best interest, but at the same time have them to feel like you're one of them, because you were their age at one particular time. So it's not that you're coming in and trying to drill in what they need to be doing. You have to show them, that you're willing to listen, and not cut them off and say, okay, well, hey, you should have did it this way or that's wrong. Allow them to be expressive, because that's number one. If they can be expressive, then you're getting somewhere, so I allow them to just talk, and we discuss things that are of importance. And I allow them to say, okay, well, how did you feel about the way you handled that situation? And then I'll go to the next person. Because what works is there's no judgment. There's no judgment whatsoever in terms of what you're telling me, and they start to feel comfortable, because once they know that he's not judging us, okay, well, I could say one more thing and another thing and another thing. So I think that particular formula for me works best.
Okay, well, what does cap mean?
Like,
what does
I think
cap is if you're telling a lie. So if I said, you know,
yeah.
You know, I'm a huge sneaker guy. So if I told someone, if I told somebody, well, you know, in a garage, I got about 12, you know, pairs of Jordans that I haven't worn yet. And then the other kids say, man, that's cap. So that's, you're lying.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Educate me, because if my students tell me I'm capping.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I will honestly say, being that I do work in the school as well, I think it's a lot of times because we're relatable. If you're relatable in a sense with the student, they will trust you a whole lot more. Like,
yeah, you gotta let them know you're tangible.
And I kid you not, like, as I explained to them, like, oh, I grew up in this neighborhood, I graduated from here.
Then they don't believe you.
They be like, oh, that's the word, cap. That's cap, Miss Williams. That's cap. And I literally sometimes pull out my yearbook and show them, and they like, oh, you did this. You was a queen. Yes, I was.
Yeah. Sometimes. Sometimes you gotta just, you know, you gotta pause for a second and just let them know, hey, listen. Forget about the shirt and tie. I was just like you, you know. And kids, you know, they try and test you sometimes. Like, you know, if they mention something like a young man a few weeks ago, he said something to me. But I responded to him, but he figured I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, man, listen, I'm not green. You know, I do know what's what, you know, but they just see the, you know, the physical appearance and stuff like that. So they don't associate with, you grew up over here, or you know this, or you know that. So.
Right. Yeah. I will say, as I think about the calm, like how you say control anger, after a lot of our students have those fights, and we have the moment of having them to deflect on what took place and why it happened. They're like, yeah, I was angry because I overheard her say, and I'm like, did you actually hear her say it towards you? Or were you assuming based upon the situation at hand, you know what, I didn't actually hear her say it, but I made the assumption, and that's what triggers the anger. And as I was even thinking about myself coming in tonight, I was getting angry. I was like, why am I so upset? And I'm like, it's because I can't control the situation.
It was out of your control.
It was everything was literally out of my control. So as we talk about the controlling of the anger, I think a lot of times that is truly what's happening and what's triggering our babies. So why they're so upset and ready to be quick to be angry at all times.
But if you think about it, as adults, we struggle with that
every day.
And honestly, we expect our children to have a level of understanding of control yourself or know how to deal with certain things when, for one, they live in a different time.
Right.
And for two, I really believe that the generations that is coming up, the fear of God is a whole nother story that I don't see that they really have.
Yeah.
And just thinking about just being calm, controlling your anger. What does that look like? Because at the end of the day, we all are tangible. And like you said, Delvin, when it comes to them actually seeing, listen, when I take my shirt and tie off, baby, I'm just like you. And I have been there. You know, like our parents used to tell us, don't act like I haven't done that before. I don't been there, done that.
Right.
And we be like, she don't know what she's talking about.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, of course, the kids of today, they assume that we don't know exactly what they're talking about or what they're going through, but we've done that, you know, 5, 10, 12 times over or whatever. But, you know, at the same time, we just have to let them know, and we have to also show it as parents, you know, certain things are out of your control, but you have to process exactly what's going on. Just process it and then sit down and try and figure it out. And then once you figure that out, you know, you'll find yourself in a more calm space rather than reacting because you're angry and it's out of my control, but I must stay angry because it is out of my control. So I have to react to it or whatever. And there's nothing to react to because that situation was already out of your control. So it's nothing that you can do, but you can process it, try and figure it out, sit down, you know, and think about it, you know, and be calm at the end of the day, because it's only going to make it worse if you're reacting to something that you're angry about that you have no control over. So
that's good.
I got one. let's delve in. Was there ever a time, like either growing up, where you had to really tap into that calm energy, where maybe interaction with someone, or I know you have a little one, maybe with him, like, is there any experience that you've had that was like, this is why I had to establish calm? I don't think you touched on it a little bit, but I want to kind of hear a little bit about that.
Right. So for me, situations with, police officers and stuff like that, when we're, driving and we're trying to get somewhere, or we already late, this, that, and other. So we got our foot on the gas just a little bit more than we should. But just being stopped over the years by officers and knowing that I didn't really do anything, but they have a job to do, but I would always be angry for that simple fact that, why are you stopping me? And I would always have a look of disgust and anger, even when they did approach, the car, which is very dangerous today. We know that. But just knowing now that could have gotten me in a position to where they really didn't know, what time I was on. And they would have probably reacted a certain way because they really don't know what my next move is just by my look. So I had to learn to just relax because, even though you didn't do anything, but they still have a job to do. And as long as you didn't do anything, all will be clear and you can be on your way. So that was, one thing that I had to just process and just learn how to calm down from that. Also, yes, having a son, that takes patience. A lot of times, I may not fly off the handle, but at the same time, I have to understand how I react to certain things that he does, and also understand that he's 7 years old. So he's not always, so he's not always going to approach every situation the way I want him to. And I have to understand that you have to process it, and it's nothing wrong with talking to him to let him know, hey, listen, I'd like for you to do it this way because, and not just immediately be angry because he didn't do it the way I would have liked him to do it. So all of that takes practice. It takes, patience, and you got to process it and then learn to be calm.
Yes, absolutely. I remember when we were having our conversation just about calm. I think about each day when I come home from work, I tell my son, like, hey, I need an hour. Just give me an hour.
Yeah.
That's good. And that was something where I had to teach him. I had to communicate and have that conversation because our kids are so innocent to where they don't understand what our day entails. And so what he actually ended up learning is that, okay, my mom requires an hour to herself so she can de-stress from her day. Yeah. And then I'm gonna go ask her, can I get some cookies out of the cabinet? So I think we just have to remember that they are so not realizing what our day entails. And now he'll text me, Mom, how was your day? Can I come down and talk to you? And I'm like, come on, listen, I kid you not, that's how we
smart though.
Listen, because he knows. I'm telling you, like, he knows. Trust.
And to be able to identify that's amazing, because a lot of times when you have been through such a stressful day, and full disclosure, I biologically don't have any children. Oh yes, but I have a whole lot at Red Learning Academy.
Yes, you do.
And I have to deal with on a daily basis. So they're my babies. And just being able to control your anger, control your emotions, especially when they're not listening, like you said, knowing the different age groups. And being able to be so tangible that it's almost if they can say, I can relate in some form of fashion way. And our children is such, unique, especially growing up in today's time, that I believe that calm is definitely needed, because what we got away with back then with our anger issues, they're not getting away with it. But one is too much technology. Way too much. When I didn't have all this.
Everybody knowing your business. Come on, like, this is crazy.
This is foolish.
Like, how did she see that? She saw it on my Instagram. Why is she following you? I'm not understanding. It's such a different time we're in right now. Technology. I don't think we could have survived y'all with technology if we were in school like them right now. I kid you not. I'm just like, I would be blocking everybody if I was in school. Because that's mainly where a lot of the conflicts are created is through the direct messages.
Because everybody want to record something. That's the first thing, even adults. And as soon as something happens, listen,
it's up on the screen.
I think Facebook is the Channel 7 News because you go hear it on Facebook first.
Yeah, of course. Facts.
And then on top of that, you go see the recordings, and it goes like this. Y'all better check on y'all people.
Facts.
I'm done with y'all with the check on your people. I saw them off 19th Street. I'm like, what is this?
A whole slow motion like this.
Yeah, facts. They know before you know, and you the family member.
Yeah.
I can't. But Delvin, how do you keep the kids? I want to say, how do you keep the children engaged when you're doing your lessons or doing your different mentoring throughout the day, rather if it's after school or on the weekends when you meet with different municipalities? How do you keep them to where they're not all on their phones? Because I kid you not, when I walked in your classroom, I was like, "Oh, Mr. Rogers got the kids with their phones up." Like, what do you
Put
do?
them in the basket.
So yeah. Well, no, I mean that's a good idea too. Yeah, that's a good idea. But
listen, Delvin, my students, they do not have their cell phones throughout the duration of the day. So they have it in the morning during breakfast. When they go inside the classroom, I collect all of their cell phones, and if your parent need to contact you, they contact me. So so if you that's amazing.
He does it. What do you do, Delvin? Tell us.
I mean, it's no secret though, because it's like I try and incorporate like small jokes here and there just to keep them engaged and laughing, and then once you see that, okay, they have a sense of humor, I think that softens up the situation. And then I tell them like different stories as to things that come across my plate of youth who might have gotten into situations where they allowed their anger to get the best of them. So I think once I pull those stories out and they see, okay, well, my anger or me not being able to solve a conflict can get me into this situation, then they kind of like, ease up a little bit and sit up straight and open their ears a lot more, because these stories are real. It's not, made up. It's real stories, but at the same time, I let them know it's okay to be angry. It's okay. It's a healthy emotion, but at the same time, you want to have that control of your emotions, and you guys have friends, you have family and things like that. You don't want to start where people start getting uncomfortable around you because they don't really know, okay, well, are they going to get the cool Johnny, or are they going to get Johnny that's always angry and I don't know what he's going to do next? So, it's just a balance of, a joke here or there and just telling them real stories and letting them know how important these key tools that we talk about are. That way, as you guys, transition into adulthood and things like that, you're able to just use what you heard, although you're going to make a lot of mistakes. But at the same time, as you mature, you're starting to think about it, you're starting to process things, and you're able to figure it out on your own, without having to call mom, dad, or auntie or what have you. So that's how I do it, but the phone in the basket, I might try that on a tough group. I might try that.
For about 2 weeks, Delvin, they're going to hate you. Trust me. And then they adapt the routine. But for 2 weeks, they're going to hate you. You just got to be consistent.
Yeah, it's like it's like you weaning them off of that cell phone because I gotta talk to somebody on the gram about this, but
now there'll be a little split now. They got the Apple watches. And
they'll watch.
They'll watch. Yeah, but it works because we're taking. Let's get back to the personal, like tangible.
Yes,
come on.
We need it.
Yeah, it's being taken away.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, are there any specific tools that you use for the kids to help them with their anger? Like, I know for me, like whenever I'm upset or where I feel like I'm going to have an anxiety attack, I'm taking deep breaths.
That's good.
And I do like 10 seconds of it. And I think it just brings so much oxygen to my brain to say, okay, you can control this. Don't allow it to control you. Is there any like tools you use in that aspect, or maybe writing aspects that you have to do to kind of talk about their day or how they're feeling?
Right. So the group, because I do a group with BSO every Thursday. So it's about, I want to say maybe 12 young men and one young lady, just one. But what I have them to do, because it's set up like, and I call it the huddle. So it's like I'm the quarterback, and then they're, surrounded. So what I have them to do is, of course, tell me about their day, but at the same time, when you get angry, what is the first thing that you do? And again, this is a safe space, so I allow them to just freely speak on how they feel. But when they tell me the first thing that they do, again, there's no judgment, but I allow them to let me know, well, what could you have done? So now that opens up a pattern of, okay, these are some things that I could try for next time. If I'm angry, or if I'm in school and the teacher didn't give me the grade that I thought I deserved or whatever, here's what I could have done. But this is them telling me this, not me telling them, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. And I think that allows them to open up even more, because he's doing something that is a little different from what might have been done in the past, where people judge me, they tell me what I should be doing, but not allowing me to freely speak on what I need to be doing, and allow me to learn that myself. And that's the cutoff part, because kids, they'll shut you off quick, even if you try and pour yourself into them.
Yes.
And you want them to engage, but then, they see, okay, well, he only here for a check, or just to do this or do that. And I'm not talking today. I'm just not talking, because they don't trust what you're trying to do. But again, to go back to what you said, like, I just allow them to freely speak and engage, and, how are you feeling today? Because sometimes they may not get that at home, in terms of someone asking them how their day was. So,
and that is so true. I think about it each day. I kind of condition my kids when they see, if I am walking through the hallway and I do not speak, or good morning, they literally will stop me in the hallway and say, good morning, Ms. Wood, you're not going to speak today? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have to clutch my pearls. Like, I'm so sorry. Good morning. How are you? How was your day? That is the key. I say all day long. How was your day? I give them that acknowledgement, because I just feel like they are just as us. They're just at a younger age, but the more they learn from us as mentors, I think they truly grasp it, and they see, you know what? I'm human. She sees me. And that's the number one thing. I'll work out in the gym. I kid you not. One of my students joined my youth group just from seeing me work out. I love her. Hey, Michelle. I love her so much. And she just I could see, you could just feel someone watching you. Yeah. And really, just from me working out, she decided to join my youth group. And I'm just like, okay, God, I'm doing something right,
Because they're watching.
They're watching.
Today I saw one of my fifth grade babies. When I taught fifth grade almost 7 years ago. And when I was walking, she noticed me, and she was like, Dr. McCullough. So I'm looking, and I'm like, well, hi.
How you doing?
And she just was so excited to see me. And one of the things that I told her, you got my number. Whatever you need, you got my number.
Yes. I think we're just leaving those lasting impressions on the children. And I feel like that is what Calm is doing for the youth. Yes. You're giving those lasting impressions to where they're like, you know what, Mr. Rogers cared about me. Ooh. He took time out the day to sit with me on Thursdays, just so I can have someone to vent to. That's good. Talking about how I'm feeling today. Like, I think that's truly, like, the mentor sees something in that child that the child doesn't see in themselves.
That's good, because think about us. I appreciate all of my mentors have a bucket for each part of my life. So imagine, Delvin, especially you're taking these young men, and it's huge because a lot of our homes are broken, and the fathers are either absent, either through death, not present, or sometimes present in the home but not present.
Right.
So to be a father figure for our young men, I think that's just amazing.
That's
right.
Yeah,
and I told the the young man and the young lady, because I don't exclude her, because she's just as important as they are, But I told them on last week, and you could hear like the room just gasp, because it was like a gem that I dropped on them that they've never heard. But I told them, each day that you wake, you got two things. You have a chance and you have a choice, and you can just see the room
that's right.
And they were like, man, I never heard that before. And I'm like, listen, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And this is why I'm giving you this information, because yes, maybe nobody has talked to you guys about anger management before.
Right.
So you're going to do what you know, and it's no fault of yours, because if you don't know, you don't know. But my whole point is coming in and just engaging with you guys, giving you information. And, once you gather that information, of course it's on you, to be able to, walk that path. But as long as I'm here, this is what I'm going to give you, because if nobody else is going to do it, I'm here to do it for you. So.
Delvin, do you have any tools for parents that parents can utilize? Because I know you focus on the child.
Yes.
But do you have any tools that parents can use?
Well, with parents, it's a similar blueprint, because if I'm talking to the kids about coping skills, I can talk to the parents about the same things. Because let's say if the parent is dealing with something that happened with a family member or what have you, I think that talking about coping skills is very important, because again, the way you deal with that particular situation, that can cause, verbal harm towards the child, because you may not know how to cope properly with that situation. So, again, it goes back to, process what's going on. It may have some dealings with a family member, but process. And you can talk with your child about, hey, listen, I'm dealing with this, but I would like to speak with you about whatever issue you're having. Don't think that I'm shutting you out. But mommy, or, if it's a dad, what have you, dad or mom is dealing with something right now. But don't think that I don't want to discuss what your issues are. Just give me a moment, And with that, you're able to engage, you're able to converse and allow your child to know exactly what's going on, rather than just shutting them out completely, because we know that can go left and that child will seek conversation somewhere else, and then by the time you are ready to discuss what it is that your child wanted to discuss, it's too late, because they went elsewhere, and it's a lot going on out here. It's a lot going on.
They're learning. These kids are learning a lot from outside of the home. I say to myself, why is it so hard for us to have those straightforward conversations with our children? I just think maybe it's just hard for us to,
accept that these conversations need to be had.
They have to be had.
And it's starting at an earlier age. When we was growing up, it was middle high school. Yeah. But now you have to literally start from first grade.
Literally.
If not kindergarten, have certain conversations with our babies, just to inform them of the little things. And I think the biggest thing now with social media, it's raising our kids. And I believe that, the Bible talks about it all the time. Speak life into our children. And one of the things that I do is, whatever my students tell me they want to be, if they want to be a doctor, attorney, I call them out by name. I doctor this, doctor that. So they're recognized and they get used to the language, versus every time they turn on social media and it's telling them that this language is appropriate, or dressing like this, or you should do certain things to yourself at an early age, versus we don't know what we're talking about, right? Because they can't separate that social media is truly just entertainment.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Delvin, I just want to know, is there any resources in terms of any parents that may want to connect with your group to joining in Calm? There are a lot of moms that may need help with their young men, their young daughters. I know my boat is full. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take any kid. But I kid you not, I get so many parents. They're like, Ms. Williams, can you please help us with my baby? I'm like, no, I'm kidding. But seriously, if there's any way that they may be able to contact you, or if you have open space, would you be willing to share that information with our audience so they know how to reach you, email you, however you choose?
Absolutely. So I'm going to drop all my information, that way they can get in contact with me in several ways. So they can email me at Rogers, ROGERS Delvin, DELVIN @yahoo.com. I'm on TikTok, so you could what is my TikTok? Delvin.Rogers. That's how you can find me. IG, it's 247 calm as an acronym. So 247 C.A.L.M. And Facebook, under my, name. If they want to go a little further, I'm on LinkedIn too.
Come on, Dylan, drop it.
So on LinkedIn, you can find me under my name on LinkedIn. So that's all. What is that? 5? So I'm here. I'm easy. I'm not hard to find. They could just shoot me a message wherever. I'm not one of those people where I'll get back to you in 2-3 weeks from now or not at all, because I know how that feels. So anytime I get a message, I'm right on it. And they could whatever questions they have, I'm here to answer it. I work with anybody, so typically it's, the age group, 10-ish, 11 to 18, because with 11, they're starting to go into that middle school phase, and things are changing, and those attitudes and, hormones and this, that, and other. So, but we could definitely talk about some things. And it's not what I want parents to understand today on this podcast. It's not just about me talking about anger, or I'm not calling your child angry, but we have to discuss what it is that your anger can lead to. That's the biggest thing. I'm not calling anyone angry, so I want parents to understand that, but I want them to understand those key tools within anger, and that self-control, emotional intelligence, coping skills, conflict resolution, which we know is a big thing. I'm sure it's a big thing at, in high schools and middle schools where they don't know how to solve it. So if something comes to me from something that somebody said, you're just going to run with that story, which is not always good, because by the time it gets to you, it's been spent 5 or 6 times.
What's it called?
We call it telephone. Telephone. The whole story has changed by the time it gets to the last person.
Yes,
it just brings me to the thought process of how is it that, we look at the children and we expect them to be able to communicate and solve problems. And then when we look at ourselves as adults in relationships and we want to try our best to communicate, but that's not happening. So it's kind of going both ways. Where we got the children and the adults. We're trying to teach you those tools you need to be successful.
Now you're trying to get deep.
Come on now. So I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I'm thankful for guys like you, Mr. Delvin Rogers, to help our youth at such a young age. I look at myself and Dr. McCullough and how we're trying our best to make sure our babies are saved. Like, if we're not teaching them, then who else gonna teach them?
Yeah.
The blind lead the blind,
right?
I mean, it has to be somebody. Why not me? So
right. That's good.
Come on now. We just the best of God's using, and we're so thankful for you. Like, you're doing some great things.
Amazing work. Do you have any upcoming seminars, Delvin? Do you have any upcoming projects that maybe our viewers can take part of, or?
Well, I mean, aside from not right now, because I just finished an event that I did with Miami-Dade Police Department on last Saturday.
Nice.
So they invited me out. Of course, they have like I want to call it civil citation first-time offenders.
Okay.
So that's my second time working with them. And again, like I said earlier, if they invite you out a second time, then you're doing something.
Come on now.
So other than that, every Thursday I'm at, BSO in Lauderdale Lakes. I work with that group, and, I've been blessed to be invited, weekly, which is a big thing. And I have something coming up with OIC, and they're having a parent engagement. I don't know the date of that yet. I know it is next month. I don't know the exact date, but as you asked me earlier, what kind of advice can I give parents? So when I meet with them, I'm going to pour into them some things that I go over with youth, but also I want them to tell me how they, deal with their youth on a daily basis. What are some things that they're experiencing? What are some things that they might have done that they thought might have been correct, but in the end, it didn't turn out that way. So I just want to sit back and allow them to, to speak and tell me some things, and again, I'll let them know, no judgment zone over here. You're free to speak and just get it out, because it's a safe space.
Yes. That's awesome. Because one of the things that my mom always say, parenting does not come with a book.
No type of book, y'all.
It does not come with a book.
None.
I don't care how many self-motivational. No, it's a natural gift that every person has in them.
Yeah.
It's just up to you to tap in and know exactly what to do.
Right.
And you just gotta, as time go on, as time go on, you just have to figure it out. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have did it that way, but I don't care how many YouTube specials you look at, that's not gonna help right now if your child did something right now as you're looking at that YouTube special. So
yes. And you just have to continue to lean on your village. That's just the key. I think every parent learns that they have to have a village. If you think you can raise your child by yourself, you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
You cannot. There's no way.
I know that to be true. But my students, I tell people all the time, I own and the principal. But my executive assistant, Miss V, she runs the school.
Oh, yes, she does.
Yeah. She runs the school, and I thank God for her wisdom so much, because it does take the village. It takes coverings. It takes someone that that, listen, this is what I'm going through with my kid, and there's no judgment zone, and it's a safe place to be here to where all hands are on deck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, Delvin. What you're doing in the community, being that pillar in the community for our students and babies. This is awesome.
Listen, this was really good. We are so thankful that you decided to join in with us for our He Speaks podcast for tonight.
And like I said, and I'm blessed to see 44. I know I don't look it.
Come on,
44. But 44, the new 21.
Yeah, that's like the new 35.
Okay.
But yeah.
I give you 21 Delvin, but 35 is okay.
Yeah, we'll go with 35. I won't go any lower than that. But yeah, again, you don't get many opportunities every day. So when one is presented, you go for it, and you got plenty of time to hang out. Outside is not going anywhere. But anytime I'm presented, outside is outside.
It's still the same. It ain't changed.
It ain't changing. You know what I mean? But yeah, once it was presented and I saw the date, I'm like, okay, could I swing that? And
you didn't even tell me.
I know till the other day. Till the other day. So
it's my birthday. I was like, oh my
God. Yeah. So it was no problem. I really want to do that because this allows me to get my face out there more, get more people in tune as to what I'm doing, and take it serious, like I take it serious. So I just want viewers to understand, I'm real about this, because we're talking about young men, young women who are navigating and trying to figure things out, but if nobody is there to talk to them about these important topics, then they're going to have to fend for themselves. But that's when those serious issues kick in, so we can't have that. If I can help, I'm there, so that's just me.
We appreciate
Delvin, as we close, with all of the tools and resources that you have developed over the course of time in developing Calm, if you can tell your younger self anything, let's go back to the age where you struggle identifying how to stay calm. What would you tell your younger self now with all of the knowledge and developed through Calm?
I think I would say just be patient and allow the process to work itself out, and not rush to react to a situation, again, like we talked about earlier, that is out of my control. It's out of your control. You got to process that, and figure out, okay, well, what do I need to do now? Because that it's a done deal. So you have to move on from that, because it's out of your control. There's nothing that you can do. But what do we need to do moving forward so we can get back on this positive pattern? Because if you allow yourself to still try and figure out, well, I know I'm angry because that didn't work out for me, and I need to stay focused on that. You're gonna lose yourself. So again, that's what I would tell myself. Just have patience. process, everything that's going on around you. You don't have to react to everything that is thrown at you. Again, fall back, and process it and move on.
Yes. Well, Delvin, we are looking forward to you joining in with us for Teen Summit on July 12th.
I'm there. I'm there.
We are looking
put my name down now.
I'll see the official stuff this week, but we are looking forward to it. I got to plug that in because it's great. It's always a great time just talking to you and learning more about different techniques and ways we can bring just awareness to our community, because we're here for the community. This is what Encouraging Woman is all about, to help everyone in any way, shape, or form, giving resources. I mean, I am the resource officer, so I have to give the resources. I have to make sure everyone has what they need to be successful in life.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
So we appreciate you. Any closing remarks you have for us?
I mean, I'm thankful that you guys had me on you as being the first guy. So that's big. Let's just put that out there. But
you say I'm Mark and stay out there.
I'm the first one. Numero uno. So guys, whoever come behind me, you got to step your game up. But no.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I'm excited, to well, first, let me congratulate you guys on your podcast and doing great things for the community and stuff like that. So all of this is very important, because you guys are encouraging women to do some great things. And again, as I'm speaking about what I'm doing, you guys are doing just as much, for women as I'm doing for the young men and young ladies and things like that. We all have to come together. That's the thing. As people of power and of influence, we need to start learning how to come together. And that's something that's lacking, but it's an easy thing to do, because it's as simple as reaching out and setting things up. I reached out to you. You told me, okay, well, hey, here's the date. Can you do it? And I was with it, and that doesn't cost a thing. It's free.
No, it doesn't.
What I realize is we're just breaking doors down. Like Storm and I just got our foot on everything. We're like, we got to get through that door, and we're just gonna make it happen. We're just gonna walk through those doors. I'm the type of person, like, if you're not gonna help me get on that platform, I'm gonna create my own, because that's just who I am. Like, like, don't you don't have to worry about getting recognition. I'm gonna give it to myself. It's okay. But just saying in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna see my face one way or another, and you're gonna at some point you're gonna reach out and be like, okay, I see you're doing your thing, and that's what I want. You're gonna get people are gonna get tired of my face, because I post so often on Facebook, whether it's video, whether it's creative content, whether it's a kind word, you're gonna see my face, and you're gonna eventually have to reach out, and that's what I want.
Yeah. What you say, all in your face.
all in here,
all in the That's good. That's definitely good. But this is exciting. I hope to see you at our upcoming gala, May 11th.
Okay.
Also, we are offering vendor space. So if that's something that let me just talk to everybody. Make sure you purchase your ticket for the upcoming gala.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, man. Okay.
The upcoming gala, May 11th. And our very own is the keynote speaker. I am so excited to see what God is going to do through you. And I just believe that it's going to be a powerhouse day. And the resources of just everything. So I'm super excited, and God is doing some good things.
He is, man. Like, I kid you not. Every day I'm waking up, I'm just so thankful. And today I'm just really thankful for this podcast.
God has turned it around.
He turned it. Okay. We thank you so much, Mr. Delvin. And of course, we will touch bases with you very soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Our sponsors, as always, we got to give you guys a shout out. Thank you to our tech team for coming through.
The best tech team in the United States of America.
You better say it. Thank you guys so very much. We appreciate you always tuning in. Our next episode is coming up March, I want to say the 5th. Don't start me. It's coming, y'all, but I kid you, we got some good guests lined up for the month of March. You don't want to miss it. We got some good stuff. Like, we getting deep. They think we did some deep stuff like last week or the week before last. Nah, man, we about to get real deep coming up. So I can't wait to tune in with you guys again. Mr. Rogers, thank you again for tuning in with us.
And happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday. Yes.
Oh man, thank you guys. Thank you.
We hope you had the best birthday ever. I mean, it's gonna be the best one right here. You tuned in. So you have a wonderful evening. Yes, you have a wonderful evening, and thank you again. You have a great one.
Thank you guys. All right.
Alrighty. Bye guys.
See you next episode.
Yeah.